the early 1970s, the Middle East stood at a turning point. Tensions between Arab nations and Israel had shaped the region for decades, and the unresolved Palestinian question weighed heavily on every leader. Among them was King Faisal of Saudi Arabia, a quiet but determined monarch who believed deeply in justice for the Arab world. His decisions during this period would transform global politics, shake the world economy, and forever redefine the relationship between oil-producing nations and the West. King Faisal had risen to power with a reputation for discipline, wisdom, and religious devotion. He modernized Saudi Arabia with caution, balancing tradition with progress. But when it came to the Arab-Israeli conflict, he held firm convictions. He believed the world ignored the suffering of Palestinians and dismissed the political rights of Arab nations. For him, the issue was not only political but moral, and he carried that belief into every international meeting and every negotiation. By 1973, tensions reached a breaking point. Egypt and Syria, frustrated by years of failed diplomacy, prepared for a surprise attack on Israel to regain territories lost in the Six-Day War. King Faisal knew conflict was coming. He warned Western leaders repeatedly that continued support for Israel would have consequences. Yet his warnings went largely unheard. On October 6, 1973, the war began. Egyptian and Syrian forces crossed their borders, catching Israel off guard. Fierce fighting erupted across the Sinai Peninsula and the Golan Heights. As the battles intensified, King Faisal watched the situation closely. He believed the Arab world was fighting not just for territory, but for dignity. He sent financial assistance and used Saudi diplomacy to rally Arab unity. But the turning point came when the United States began a massive emergency airlift to resupply Israel. This, in Faisal's eyes, crossed a line. He believed the United States had chosen sides openly, disregarding Arab concerns and the suffering of Palestinians. With quiet resolve, he decided to use the most powerful tool Saudi Arabia possessed. Not soldiers, not missiles, but oil. In mid-October, King Faisal authorized a historic decision. Saudi Arabia would cut oil production and impose an embargo on nations supporting Israel, including the United States. It was a peaceful action, but one with the power to shake the global economy. Few at the time understood how deeply the world depended on Middle Eastern oil. Almost overnight, the effects spread across the globe. Gasoline prices surged. Long lines formed at American gas stations. In some cities, pumps ran dry. Speed limits were reduced, factories slowed, and energy policies were rewritten. For the first time, Western nations realized how vulnerable they were to decisions made in distant deserts. The balance of global power had shifted. King Faisal did not take this action out of anger or hostility. He believed it was the only way to force the world to acknowledge Arab rights. His goal was political pressure, not economic destruction. He insisted repeatedly that once a fair path for Palestinian justice was recognized, Saudi Arabia would restore oil supplies. And while critics accused him of using energy as a weapon, supporters argued he used the only leverage available to a peaceful nation defending a political cause. The embargo lasted 5 dramatic months. During that time, global diplomacy changed. Western leaders who had once ignored the Palestinian issue began discussing it seriously. The United States pushed for negotiations, and the idea of a long-term Middle East peace process gained momentum. When the embargo ended in March 1974, the world was no longer the same. Energy policy, international alliances, and political strategies had all been reshaped by one decision made in Riyadh. The war eventually ended through negotiation, but the legacy of King Faisal's embargo lived on. For many Arabs, he became a symbol of dignity and resistance, a leader who forced powerful nations to acknowledge the struggles of his people. For many in the West, he became a reminder of the importance of energy security and diplomatic balance. In the years that followed, Faisal continued working toward modernization and unity, stressing education, development, and independence for the Arab world. Yet his life ended suddenly and tragically in 1975, when he was assassinated by a family member.
His death shocked the world, cutting short the life of a leader who combined tradition with vision and who believed that justice could be achieved without violence. Today, historians look back on the events of 1973 as a moment that changed global history. It was the moment when a single political decision shook the largest economies on Earth. The moment when Arab nations realized the power of unity. And the moment King Faisal demonstrated that a small group of oil-producing countries could influence world affairs without firing a single shot. King Faisal's role in the Arab-Israeli War remains one of the clearest examples of how leadership, conviction, and strategy can reshape the global order. His legacy ensues not only in the Middle East, but around the world, where nations still feel the ripple effects of the choices he made during those intense and decisive months.